Welcome to a new video by Wiskunne English. In this video we're going to talk about the domain of a function without knowing the graph of a function. We're going to make 4 exercises, but before we start you need to know some things. 1. It's forbidden in mathematics to divide by 0. We're going to use that for the domain, and if we take the square root of something and we are in R, then x must be greater than or equal to 0. Okay? For the next video, we're going to include ln, exercises with ln and the logarithm. But for here, we're talking about fractions and square roots. So, first example. Suppose we have y is equal to 1 divided by 2x plus 2. We want to know the domain of this function, and we cannot draw the graph. Now, this is a fraction, so we're in the situation that we may have 1 divided by 0. So we want to exclude the points that give 0 in the denominator. Now, we can find all the points that are good, so that are not 0, but that's a lot of work, because there is one point that's not good. So we're going to find the point that's not good, so that we can exclude it. So we have 2x plus 2 is equal to 0, so we can find the point that we must exclude. So 2x is equal to minus 2, or x is equal to minus 1. So x can be everything except minus 1. So domain is R without minus 1. So you can find all the points that you can include, but that's a lot of work because there is just one point that you need to exclude. Second example is with a fraction. With the square root. First example was with a fraction, now it's with the square root. So minus 4x plus 2. Now we know that what's in the square root must be positive. So we know minus 4x plus 2 must be greater than or equal to 0. Now, you can say I'm going to find the points that I need to exclude, but here there are a lot of points that you need to exclude. So it's better to find the points that you need to include. So with fractions, you find the points that you need to exclude, points that you need to exclude. With square roots, it's better to find the points that you need to include. So you have minus 4x is greater than or equal to minus 2, or x is greater than or equal to minus x is greater than or equal to minus 2 divided by 4. Now, if we divide by minus 1, the bracket changes. So we get x is smaller than or equal to 2 divided by 4. And 2 divided by 4 is equal to 1 divided by 2. So 1 divided by 2 is included because it gives 0. And the square root of 0 is still 0. So the domain is minus infinity to 1 divided by 2. So bracket to the outside always with minus or plus infinity. Brackets to the inside because 1 divided by 2 gives 0, and that's not a problem. It's not in the denominator, so it's no problem. Third example. Suppose we have 1 divided by x to the power of 2 minus 5x plus 6. So now we have something of the second grade in the denominator. So same as the first example, we're going to find out the points that we need to exclude because they give 0. So we're going to say x to the power of 2 minus 5x plus 6 is equal to 0. You can solve this with the discriminant. I will use the sum and product method. You will have, of course, the same solutions. So sum is 5, product is 6, so 3 and 2. So the solution is, domain is R without 2 and 3. So I use this bracket because it's just 2 and 3. It's not the points 2 and 3 and everything between 2 and 3. So just the points 2 and 3. Fourth and last example. Suppose we have the square root in the denominator. For instance, x to the power of 2 minus 7x plus 12. So now we need to use a sign diagram because I cannot solve this by hand. I need to use the zeros and then a sign diagram. So you see, I'm not writing equal to 0 because it's in the denominator. So now I'm first going to find the zeros. So I'm going to say x to the power of 2 minus 7x plus 12 is equal to 0. Again, I'm using the sum and product method. If you use the discriminant, same solutions. Sum is 7, product is 12, 3 and 4. So now I'm going to write a sign diagram. So I have x, y, 3, 4, 0, 0. Normally it's 0, 0, because now it's in the denominator. I can write that it may not be 0. And then it's positive smiley, so plus, minus, plus. So we have two parts. The domain is minus infinity to 3, with 3 excluded because 3 gives 0, and 4 to plus infinity. So you know infinity is always excluded. 3 and 4 are excluded because they give 0. And this is just and. So we'd say this and this. So you see with square roots and fractions, fractions look where the denominator is 0. Square roots look where it's positive. So this was the video about the domain. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please drop a like and subscribe to the channel.